Fantasy Rugby is finally back, and we have got the Six Nations stacked up and ready to go this weekend. Now, the teams were named overnight for me, because I live upside down, right? And we are ready to announce our first lineup for the opening round of the Six Nations. That's right, we've got France versus Ireland, we've got Italy taking on England, and finally, we've got Wales at home versus Scotland. It is sure to be a fantastic opening round, and I hope you've got your fantasy team ready to go. Let's take a look at who I've selected for this opening round, and of course remember, if you want to join my league where there's already a stack of people lined up, ready to go and fight for that number one spot, you can. All the links are in the description. Go and check it out. Join yourself up. Make yourself a team if you haven't already, and get involved for what's going to be a stellar Six Nations season. Let's go look at the team. So what's really awesome about this official Six Nations fantasy competition is they've got not only a beautiful sort of UI for you to use and select your team, but also down the bottom left-hand corner by the players of the page, you've got this little play button you can click on, which gives you this amazing looking little preview of your team, which I thought, wow, I can't think of a better way to crack into this by going through this preview with you suckers on board and seeing my team for this weekend's opening round, barring injuries, of course, before kickoff of the Six Nations. So let's take a look. Here we go. Super Rugby Rejects. Gotta love it. I've got as many of them as I can, but this will be in Cornflakes Beast League, which you can join as well. And we've got the Six Nations at the top. We've got a bit of England, France, Ireland, a bit of Italy, Scotland, and Wales. The precursor to maybe how someone thinks this league is going to go this year. Right, let's dig in and start things off upside down like they do in the Northern Hemisphere, starting off with the back three, of course. I'd start off with the props, but, you know, whatever. It's your game. You do what you like. Here we go. First three players. Back three, the biggest three, the key three, the point scorers. We've got big man Damien Penaud for France. We've got middle James Lowe from Ireland. And of course, we've got Duhan van der Merwe from Scotland. Not South Africa. No. Not South Africa. Right, these three guys, phenomenal, right? Three guys that know how to score a try, know how to break lines, and some of them know how to kick and defend. But let's be honest, back three, that's optional, right? That is optional. I'm looking for big things from these three guys. I'm thinking tries, especially by this lad. Duhan van der Merwe will be my captain for the opening weekend. Of course, they play Wales through the Scots. And of course, these two lads will be going up against each other, possibly lining up face to face as well. So that should be a nice little matchup between my two of my back three. Let's move on and not get too stuck on these guys, however, and move our way swiftly into the midfield, where it's again a little bit of Ireland, a little bit of Scotland going on there with Bandiaki and Sione Tuipulotu from Scotland. Now these two guys, I guess similar sort of mould, right? Big, powerful sort of players, going to make things happen. Expecting a lot from Bandiaki. Wanted to go away from him a little bit, but it just seems to be the way that this goes, that, well, you just can't go outside of him. There's not enough talent throughout the midfield. The English have made shocking selections, I think, especially their outside backs, Daly out in the wing. How are they still doing that? England, do you not learn? Are we expecting a boring game plan from the English this weekend? We will see, of course, in just a couple of days' time. But yeah, I'm going to go with Bundy. I think out of the options I've got, he is about one of the best out there. I would have liked seeing a Redpath playing or those sorts of options. But I think Scotland going up against Wales should be through the midfield. They make a lot of inroads. Again, I would have liked to go on an Englishman, and I really initially selected Ollie Lawrence from England to be in my midfield. Unfortunately, injury has ruined his opportunities, so we've had to look elsewhere. And this is really the best of the best that's left. Let's move on though, because that's not very exciting. In the halves, we've got a little bit of Wales. What? The Wales? Oh, Wales are in the Six Nations, everyone. Yeah, so we got a player, it's Gareth Davis, who will be starting at scrum, half, and puntering up. Well, in a way, puntering up and puntering against. Puntering up for me in my halves. But puntering against each other, of course, 9 and 10, Wales v Scotland this weekend with Finn Russell. These two guys, Hopefully both have Stormers, and hopefully not against each other too much. But I'm looking at big things here. Gareth Davis, experienced, and of course a nippy little player as well. I like seeing him get involved in the game, so hopefully Wales use him a bit as a ball carrier, a ball runner, and try and bring the defence a bit more around him to open up their backline, possibly, if they're going to grab any success from those guys out there. Finn Russell, he's a Lionel Messi of rugby. What else do you want to know? Jeez, let's move on. Into the forwards. Man, this was probably the hardest one, I reckon, to pick, was the back row. So much talent, and amazingly so, we've gone with all of our Englishmen in the forward pack, which just goes to show exactly, and unfortunately, how I do think this team, this English team especially, is going to be playing. Ben Earl, I mean, honestly, I can't go past Ben Earl. I am a huge fan of Ben Earl, what he did last year for England, and I think hopefully, for my sake and my fantasy team as well, he's going to do it yet again. I've got him starting in the back row with Lorenzo Canoni as well. Another, this time Italian, but very, very strong, powerful player. A standout guy, whether his team's doing well or whether they're doing poorly, this guy stands out above the rest. And then finally from France, Gregory Aldred. Again, a phenomenal player, a rucking menace, also around the general field menace as well. Strong defender, strong ball carrier, just does all the jobs very, very well. I'm expecting big things, especially from Earl and Aldred, I think, at that really top level. But for Canoni, I think for Italy, he's a guy that can step up above his opposition, but also above his own teammates as well. And seeing him go head-to-head with a very good English back row should be a highlight, I think, of this opening round of the Six Nations. Still only 5 appearances in the Six Nations as well. Very young, 23 years of age. Look at that. No one over 26 in my back row. Woof. I mean, give me them for the next 3 years, why don't you? Moving into the second row, we're going to have a look at England here. We've got Ollie Chisholm and we've got Zavid Jenkins. Now this was a special selection too for Jenkins into the second row from some of our Welsh viewers on stream when we looked at the team this morning. Ollie Chisholm, again, not too expensive when it comes to fantasy points and does get generally, in the World Cup at least last year, he did score pretty well for his work rate around the paddock defensively. So I'm looking for big things from Chisholm, big things from Jenkins as well to hold this second row together. A little bit of Wales and a little bit of England. Again, England, I expect to do very well against Italy. God, hopefully, right? I mean, it's Italy. They should be creaming them out, but you just never know. Might not happen that way. Moving into the front row, the big boys, the power, the options to bulldoze. Malvaka at hooker. Now, I don't know anywhere else I want to go. Options from Dan Sheehan and the likes, but man, Malvaka is just so good. Not only has he got that mauling threat around his game as well with the French, but he's also phenomenal around the paddock. Powerful for his size, he's pretty pacey as well. I'm looking at big things from him. Tough matchup though, you got to remember, against Ireland, he's not going to be running rampant like the English will be, or should be, against the Italians, or that the Welsh might starve up against the Scots, but I'm thinking Malvaka will be a game breaker, like he was throughout 2023 as well. Lining up on the pillars each side will be Will Stewart from England and Andrew Porter from Ireland. Again, easy matchup, should be good points here for Stewart. He won't play a full match though. I expect, England should bring the changes 50 to 60 minutes at worst. So I think we will see a lot of appearances off the bench. Porter, on the other hand, may play a bit of a role against, again, a tough opponent in the French side. So this could be a bit of a maybe, maybe not for the front row, but I'd like to see, again, when you've got key guys in the big matches, Ireland, France is going to be huge, and some are calling this one a Six Nations decider in round number 1. I don't know if I'll quite go that far, but this is all the same a massive, massive clash, and these are guys, I think, that could make a big, big difference. Win or lose, performances are the key thing in this fantasy league. Right, moving on to our, bench, right? And it's not going to show me the bench. Oh, boo! Boo! Moving on to the bench. It's down the bottom here. We have Super Sub. So, I know what a Super Sub is. I'm going with Theo Dan, okay? Don't show me properly, will you? Theo Dan is going to be my Super Sub for England, and my 4th Englishman as well, right? So this is a guy who I think can make a really big impact for England. Not only is he coming off the bench, which of course as a Super Sub, get those triple points is a requisite of doing that part, I also think he's a guy that will come on, and given the way I think England are going to play this way, pack dominant, this could be a guy that comes on late, grabs a try off a maul, runs through things and gets out in the open. I'm looking at halfbacks, I'm looking at hookers for the super sub role. That is genuinely, I think, the best positions you can go for. Theo Dan, opening round against Italy. It's a no-brainer for me. It really is. A player who can really make a difference off the bench, and we should see some good bench minutes as well for Mr. Dan. Okay, well, there we go. There is overall the team I'm going with for round number 1. What are your thoughts? Who is your team? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, join us on Discord for discussion on there about who is the best, who is the worst, la 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 la, and all those exciting things as well. We've got all the topics going on, and on stream. We're doing this. Generally, we're going to review it on Monday. We're going to preview it on the Fridays as well before the weekend's action. So if you want to join in and have a bit of a banter and have a bit of a chat about what you think's the best option, who you feel perform best, come and join us on stream on Twitch. Links are down in the description below. Give us a follow on there. Make sure to tune in when we go live. But for me, this is it. Round 1. I will be live for game number 1 tomorrow morning for me anyway, or the late hours of Friday or Saturday morning, depending on your hemisphere. We will be watching a live watch party of the game. So if you want to come and hang out, talk some rugby, see how the match goes down, and get some company in the same time, come and join us over on Twitch and we can chat all things about the great Six Nations competition. Until then, though, thank you all for tuning in and watching. Hope you enjoyed this little look at my opening weekend's fantasy team. Join the league, get involved, come talk rugby, and I'll see you there out on the field in the Six Nations. Until then, take care.